Oh, hey, it's Alan again. Um, how you all doing? Well, today I wanted to talk about, or actually tonight, it's tonight here, but um, I just had some dinner, some pasta, and I wanted to talk about my approach to, say, staying slim, and also if I was getting on like a bit heavy for what I'm comfortable with, let's say not fitting into my clothes that I used to, and things like that. Excuse me. Um, that I would, what I would do to change and what I have been trying. Okay, so at the moment, I'm currently of the intention or of the opinion that is that seems to be working well for me. That eating lower fat. So because I like to eat plenty of carbs, like carbohydrates, like and I'm not talking about carbs that have already been um, like they're part of something that's been packaged or something that's been added to it. Like, I mean, with a whole ingredients list, such as biscuits or cakes or something, because they would already be quite a high fat already with the amount of oil or butter that's added to them. So I'm talking about carbs. When I say carbs, I mean carbohydrates as a nutrient. So I'm talking about low fat ones. So generally carbohydrate ingredients like rice or potatoes or pasta, before you cook them, they're high carbohydrate, very low fat. You know what I mean? So that's sort of what I'm saying when I say high carb. I'm not sort of wanting to confuse that with high fat things as well, like a donut. You know what I mean? It's high carb, but it's very high fat as well. So it might be a bit boring, this conversation, but what's fun about it is the idea that um, you can eat a lot of the foods, or sort of you can eat comfortably until you're satisfied with foods that you like, maybe eating less foods that you probably would also like say high fat foods, like meat and stuff like that, and say adding butter and cheese and eggs and all that stuff, milk. They're not necessarily unhealthy, but it doesn't really work with this approach that I'm doing. So what I've come to sort of understand is keto, or what people call carnivore or very low carb. That's generally a high fat diet, right? So that tends to work, but at the same time, you can't really go both. So you can't really go carbs and fat in abundance. You know what I mean? You can't eat both, or you're just going to be bulking like you're in off season. You know what I mean? And maybe not fitting into your clothes. You'll be wanting to buy bigger clothes and stuff. So that is my opinion. Whether that's correct or not, well, that's what I've experienced. But then so there's the keto or low carb or carnivore, and then on the other hand, there's kind of like on the other extreme, some people would go like what they call plant based or vegetarian or vegan, like high carb, low fat. You know, there's that. Okay, you don't have to be necessarily fully vegan or something like that. But the point is, if you're gonna have animal products or foods with fat in them, like that they're kept to a minimum, so it doesn't offset the balance. You know what I mean? So it doesn't upset the balance. So yeah, I've heard this type of notion from guys like Bart K. He goes by Professor Bart K. If you guys have heard of him, he's like a carnivore. He's in the carnivore community, and he's all about how, okay, both approaches work. Carnivore, very low carb works, um, keeps you pretty healthy, and sort of plant based, sort of, guys like Dr. John McDougall. Unfortunately, he passed away recently, but you got John McDougall and people who advocate a plant based diet, like high carbohydrate. Maybe not for vegan or ethical reasons, but it's just the approach of the diet. So Bart K says that there's those people. Both will work, but the one that's vegan, he says, you'll sort of have catastrophic health consequences in a few years or something. So why not pick the one that's more sustainable? I'm not 100% sure if he's correct on the catastrophic health consequences, but anyway, his point being that both kind of work, at least even if you're looking at the short term, like a few years or something. Yeah, but probably my preference would be to have um, to eat a little bit of everything that you like. Say if you still like meat, I'm not sure if I still want to eat as much meat after taking this approach, because I have been vegan in the past, as in for ethical reasons. And then when I start eating low fat and high carb, it tends to affect my intentions, and I may continue doing it for the ethical reasons too. It starts to, excuse me. So yeah, so if I was to buy something like ice cream, uh, and I want a little bit of ice cream, let's say, I'd buy maybe a vegan friendly or plant based ice cream, even though I'm trying to eat low fat, and this is sort of maybe a higher fat dessert, right? But it uses coconut cream. So, yeah, so that's sort of what I'm saying. Like, um, maybe I'm not fully vegan or something, but at least while I'm doing that, I wanted to eat less fat. I get that vegan mindset almost of thinking of the animals and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, and you have people who are popular on. I was going to say other people who are popular on YouTube, like Durian Rider. He's known for trying to go to the extreme of eating very low fat and high carbohydrate and very high carbohydrate, um, and it shows like how lean he's getting, and he's trying to almost, maybe he does it for his cycling performance, but he's also doing it to actually shock people and make a statement like, look how lean. It's like, look how lean I'm getting. You can see like the shape of my muscles in my face, all through my face. Like, do you not see that eating carbs does not make you fat? But of course, carbs meaning not in the general sense, like eating hot chips or eating like do you know what I mean, a donut. That's not what he means, but carb ingredients. Like he says, do you not see that? Like, it's almost like, how clear can I make this for people to understand? Yeah. But that's the point, is where sometimes eating high carbohydrate and people would generally say that the nutrient they're trying to avoid is what makes you fat, but that's not necessarily true. So say if someone is on a high carbohydrate low fat diet, they would say, oh, fat is the reason why people get fat. But maybe if you're eating lots of carbs too, right? So in that context it's probably true. But if you're eating mostly meat and very little carbs, and by cutting out carbs, or like mostly, or having it very sparingly, or sometimes, um, those people would say, "Oh, fat, that carbohydrates makes you gain fat," but no, it's the relationship between what you're eating. So if do you know what I mean? So it's not like one or the other that makes you fat. It's how, and I don't want to make it sound bad if you're fat, like say makes you fat. I don't want to make it sound negative. Like if you're comfortable being um, maybe what some people might consider fat, then that's fine. It's fine. It's up to you. It depends on your goals, and yeah. But also, if you're trying to lose weight, and let's say you have emotional eating or something for some reason, for your own private reasons, then you'll be like, oh, I want to lose weight, but I can't help it. I just have to binge on this McDonald's. It makes me feel better, or like what I may be going through. That's none of my business right now. But there's that too. So some people may not wish to be, let's say, they may want to be slimmer, um, not in a sort of outrageous way, like maybe they're already at a healthy weight, but then they're wanting to get extra slim. No, 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 we're not talking about that. We're talking about people that are slightly larger, and they're wanting to lose weight, but they can't. It's not to make you feel bad if you can't. But this is the approach that has been helping me, And now that we're up to about 10 minutes, I could cover it more in other videos, but in this video for now, I'll just say that um, I've tried a few different approaches, and for a while, I've I thought that you can eat however much fat you want, however much carbohydrates you want. So, say for example, like eating potatoes, rice, all that stuff, all those carbs, and eating plenty of meat, eggs, cheese, and all that stuff, milk, as long as it's like healthy ingredients, um, the main factor is having refined vegetable oil. So if you are gonna like roast potatoes, you roast them in instead of using canola oil or vegetable, you use butter or lard or something like that. Like an animal fat or a healthy olive oil. Well, what I've come to notice is it's not that simple. Like, I mean, not it's not that it's not that simple, but that's probably I had the wrong approach because I started to find myself gaining extra weight. So yeah, because in the past I did a diet called the GAPS diet, and they in the diet um, you're cutting out a lot of refined oils, and you're using healthy oils like extra virgin olive oil and butter, and like healthy fats like butter and things like that, um, as opposed to the refined unhealthy oils. You know what I mean? But I was losing weight, and I was like, oh, this is strange. I'm eating fat, but why am I losing weight? This is weird. I didn't expect that would happen. I expect that to happen because I wasn't trying to do it to lose weight. And I was eating as much fat I wanted from meat and all that stuff, and I was still losing weight. So I thought the main change I made, because I'd gone from just eating like a bit of just a normal standard diet, which includes hot chips with canola oil or whatever, And I thought the main reason I was losing that weight is because of the refined oil was no longer there. But there were probably other factors at play. Similar to what Bart Kay says. Sometimes you think you've found the reason for something. You've hit the reason why, or you're trying to figure out the reason why something is happening. Why did I lose weight? It's like, how did that happen? Well, there were probably other factors at play because what else was I not doing? Like, I wasn't eating starch, so potatoes and all that stuff. Um, and I wasn't having dairy, but I think so. So I think the reason was because I had a lot less carbohydrates, and most of my carbohydrates just came from fruit, which is a pretty low source of carbs, even though they are sugary, but it's not as dense in sugar as say eating a potato, the amount of carbs that are in it. So that was probably the other factor. So then when I decided to go, so then yeah, and because I tried the carnivore for a bit, carnivore diet after I was doing that because I was still quite heavy, and I thought, oh, okay, I still want to eat meat, but not too much, right? I mean, no, I still want to eat meat. Um, I don't want to take a diet approach to lose weight that cuts out meat. I don't want to go the vegetarian way. I've done that before, and I quit because I, I couldn't handle it anymore. A bit like yeah, so I was an ethical vegan at the time, and I just couldn't handle it. I had to have some eggs or something, you know what I mean? And some cheese and butter and that. Like I felt like I really wanted it, Yeah. So I bailed on that, on the vegan thing. And so I thought, yeah, maybe if I want to lose weight now, I'm not going to go back that direction. I'm going to go the other direction towards the keto or carnivore. But I found it's very painful if you know what I'm saying. So let's just tell it like it is. Let's use the word constipation. Yeah. So it was pretty bad. Like on the carnivore diet for me. Some people may not have it, but they say you got to eat more fat. Some of those carnivore doctors, but I was already eating a lot of fat, man. So like I wasn't going to do another day. So then I like maybe they could have just maybe some of them are just so anti-plants, like saying don't it like they're so anti-plants that they can't even say eat eat a cucumber with it. Like I don't know if that would have helped much, but I think they're just so anti-plants that they can't recommend fiber. like from a cucumber or celery, something that seems so simple. It's not like a risky food to eat. You know what I mean? Yeah, but no. But then I just bailed on it completely. I was kind of like, sorry, Bart K, but I was thinking, F you, Bart K. Excuse me. Um, and like yes, yeah, just I wasn't going back to carnivore another day, you know. So I just cooked up a pasta, and then for a few more weeks, I still kind of had the goal of losing weight a little bit. But yeah, I was just back to eating lots of carbs, lots of fat again, but healthy fat, you know, because my opinion was eating, having any canola oil or refined oil was no good, but then having, which it probably isn't, like for other health reasons, but not for weight loss reasons, probably. Because I was still gaining weight with healthy oils and healthy fats, you know, and meat and stuff that I thought was healthy, you know. Yeah. So then I realized maybe there's some other factors at play here. So then so what I did, I was just like gaining extra weight. Um, for me, probably my happy weight range is around early 80s, 80 kilos, like around 82 kilos. I'm sort of like comfortable there, and I fit most of the clothes that I have at the moment. Um, but I was starting to gain a bit of weight, like, and I weighed myself, and it said 95 kilos. I thought, oh, that's a bit odd, isn't it? For me, and yeah. Um, so like I know this video is getting long, but then um, what I was going to say next was I'd be wearing at the time some of my favorite jeans to wear. So it was still cold at the time, from winter to early spring, and when I was doing this, and maybe I didn't quite see the weight coming on or knowing what my weight was, because my jeans were the type of jeans that are a little bit elastic, so you don't know that you're actually really gaining weight. And then when I went to try on, I was like, oh, there's some pants I haven't worn in a while, and they're like chinos that they don't have any elastic in the waist. So I put them on and I thought, oh, these don't fit me. They fit me great when I used to wear them, like earlier, but I hadn't worn them in a while. I'd gone for more my elastic jeans, and so you don't know, yeah, you don't know until like, whoa, what's been happening, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to eat less fat now, um, but maybe just finish the meat that I've got still in the fridge, and then what I want to buy still, I'll still buy it if I really want to. But you know, if even if I go back to being fully vegan or close enough, then I'll buy as much meat or eggs or cheese if I really want it. I'm not going to force myself not to have it. So I think that's probably more sustainable for me if I can't handle being a strict vegan or something, strict vegetarian. Yeah. So then at the moment I'm like, you know, like I'm eating some meals fully vegan, and I'm comfortable with that. But maybe after 5, 6, 7 months, um, I'm probably going to start to feel like something, you know, some animal products. But yeah, like yeah, at the time, I'm probably not going to go nuts and just abandon it, but you know, whatever. So I think it's probably a bit unsustainable for me to be a vegan, like a high carb, low fat vegan, which would probably be ideal for the weight loss that I'm saying. If you can do it, then fine, but I don't know how healthy it is or something. I can't recommend it, but all I can say is for my own weight loss, what I've found, you know, on my journey to be good for me right now, that I'm up, like that I'm telling you that I've had the positive experience on for losing weight so far, is the high carb, low fat diet with, yeah, little bit of fat. Like say, have a little bit of olive oil, but don't go crazy. You know what I mean? Put a little bit of olive oil in your pasta. Like I still have it. I'm not fully strict. Like, you know, don't have any fat, but it's like have a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, a little bit can be a little bit like vague, but less than what I was having is the point. Yeah. So maybe I'll share with you some of the meals I'm having and stuff. But at the moment, I've been doing this sort of approach for about 2 or 3 months now, and like I'm still trying to finish the meat that I had left over in the freezer. So because I've been trying to eat less meat and fat, and it's taking me a while to get through it, even. So that just shows how little meat I'm actually eating. Um, and To wrap it up here, okay, and so my weight now is around. I've been weighing myself on my friend Pete's scale, and my weight was recently 87 and a half kilos. And I was like, yeah, I have noticed myself getting a bit slimmer. So yeah, I don't know how low it's going to get, but I'm starting to get more satisfied with my weight for my height, being about 6 foot tall. So I think I'm moving in the right direction. Yeah, I wanted to update you on that. I mean, not update you on that. I haven't told you anything, but or maybe in my previous videos I've made in the past, some of you may recognize me or whatever. But just to let you know, if you're curious about a diet or something that could help you stay slim or lose weight, I know it will help you lose weight, but stay slim. Maybe not if you can't sustain the diet. If it's unsustainable for you, if you're like, I can't keep this up. But the idea is to eat enough carbs, eat enough food. Don't restrict. That's the point. So that's my intention. I don't like diets where you have to eat less. Maybe less of some things, but I don't want to eat less overall. But yeah, eating a fully vegan diet is probably going to be unsustainable for some people. And same with, say, a carnivore diet or keto diet, you may miss carbs. So I think the balance is not to eat half and half, because you're probably still going to gain weight, probably. But that is if you're eating like in abundance, as much as you want, as much as you care for. So it would be to either pick one approach or the other. Very, very low fat and high carbohydrate, or or high fat, high meat and stuff like that, and low carb. As low, like, it doesn't have to be zero, but you know low enough that you start to see results. Yeah. Cool. All right. Have a good one. I hope you found this interesting, and let me know if you'd be willing to try it, or if you're or what approach you're using, or if you already are doing this. What I'm doing. The sort of high fat, low carb diet. Yeah. Whether or not it's vegan or vegetarian or a little bit of meat, eating like say a traditional Thai person, like Thai people, they a bit like on the movie Forks Over Knives. I mean the documentary. They were saying some of the Asian guy. I'm not sure where he's from. I think he was from China or somewhere, but he said uh, back when I was in China, my our traditional food was when we would eat meat, it would be more for flavor, like we would eat less. Whereas when I moved to America, um, the amount of meat that would feed a whole family would be for one person. You know what I mean? A whole steak would be for one person. You know, or like a whole pizza he'd be eating. Yeah. Whereas, yeah, of course, he was saying that in more the traditional meals, meat was more used for flavor. That was his cool accent. He says for flavor. Yes. So whenever now I eat a little bit of meat, I do it at the pace that would be a little bit at a time, and I say for flavor. Yeah. So that's a good probably way to look at it. All right. Have a good one. All right. Thank you. Rock on, baby. Yeah.